The big day is almost upon us. The Best Clare Awards 2026 in association with EI Electronics, Shannon's largest employer and global leader in the manufacture of home life safety products, is going to be taking place tomorrow evening at the Old Ground Hotel. And many of you have cast your vote for your favourite local businesses, with awards to be handed out for 18 exciting categories on the night. And I am delighted to be joined by the winners, one of the co-winners, I have to dish the credit around, of this year's Local Hero Award, and that is Ruth Flanagan and Rona Flanagan, who can't be with us today, but Ruth has made it in. Ruth, I really appreciate you coming in, so thank you and congratulations.
Thank you. Good morning. Thanks for having us, and we're really honoured.
Yeah, so it's I suppose a short list of people who've won the Local Hero Award, and to be given that title in your local community, pretty special.
Yeah, no, it's definitely special, and we feel like it does belong to everybody because we had such a big community behind us, from family, friends to schools, everybody. So we feel like it belongs to everyone in a way, which is very like Mia as well. Yeah,
it belongs to everybody, but they're not. Ruth and Ronan are going to be doing some timeshare agreement to hand the award around the county. Everyone can have it on their mantelpiece. They'll be holding on to it, but at least you're getting some of the credit. And yeah, I mean, look, you've been with us before, and people will know your family story and Mia's story as well. And I suppose the way at such a young age dealt so bravely with her illness, and you were last in with us with Ronan a couple of months ago to talk about the Miles for Mia campaign, which involved Ronan walking across Ireland. I was asking you off air if his feet are still like two, like balloons at a children's party. Talk to us about how the campaign went, because you were in ahead of it. It was happening mid-April, and we're mentioning fundraising and so on. And I guess because Mia's story was so well known, did that help in terms of the fundraising?
Oh, definitely, yeah. She definitely had touched everyone's lives. So people knew about us, and they'd obviously follow our story on GoFundMe and things like that. So like, you're very invested in it and obviously wanting to see a better outcome. So yeah, we headed off on the 13th of April, left from home. All our family and friends and neighbours came out and kind of cheered us on. And then we went back past the boys' school and the CBS, so they all came out and did like a guard of honour, and lots of high fives. That was amazing. So it was good for the boys to see that people are behind them, and even for all those kids to see, get involved and do something good. So yeah, he headed off, and then he met two of his friends, childhood friends, and actually a nurse from Limerick, and joined in as well. So she would have cared for Mia when we would have been on the ward in Limerick. So Mia kind of has a special place in her heart as well. So they headed off through Clare, which was quite hilly.
His own county conspiring against him.
That was probably the toughest part. So the first day he did do, I think, slightly over 60k. So it was tough, but he had a lot of kind of motivation, I suppose, and the whole day that was in it, kind of starting off. And then we got to Nina, and he was absolutely exhausted. So we started kind of at 9:30. It was a little bit later just because we went past the school and stuff, which did make the walk a little bit longer for Ronan as well, but he didn't mind. And we got to Nina, I think it was nearly 10 o'clock, like 9:30, kind of 10 o'clock. Yeah, and it was like straight into salt bath, Epsom salts, soaking the legs and the feet. And he actually wasn't too bad the first day, so getting up the next day was really tough. So, and
stiff as a board.
Stiff as a board, yeah. So yeah, but he had people join him the whole way. So his brother actually joined him, Kevin, his older brother, on the second day, and then work colleague joined him as well, Dara. So yeah, they kept going, and then we got to the second day. Like, I forget where we stayed. Like, I was driving along the whole time, like making sure all the feet were like covered in plasters and things like that. And
you were logistics manager.
Yeah, that was it. So then it was Nina to Portlaoise, I think, the next day. Yeah. So I think the following, after doing the 2 days, the third day was definitely really hard to watch. Like, his feet had completely blistered and his legs were quite swollen and things like that, but he just kept going, like. And I think,
and he had said that to us, Ruth, that this wasn't a surprise, Tyrone. We talked about the tough moments that it would be Mia and the children you're hoping to help as well, that would get him through. But it's one thing expecting it, it's another thing experiencing it, and I guess thinking of me and the resilience she showed as such a young child to deal with what she dealt with. Rowan had to really dig into that to get through this.
And he did. Like, it was all just, if Mia can do this. Because on that morning, on the third morning, like, he was broken. Like, it did remind me of all the times we kind of were in situations like that, or we had to stay in hotels, or just like you have to dig so deep to keep going. Like, and he got up and he was like, "Oh, I feel like Mia now," because he could barely walk. And obviously, from when she had the chemo, like, her legs, she'd lost all her muscle, all that. And he was like, "I'm like Mia now." And like it's sad, but at the same time we had like a little bit of a laugh, because like she would have made it funny, like trying to walk. So he really did. And like, anytime I think he was feeling bad, he'd think of Mia, and then that would kind of encourage him to keep going. Like, so he has just amazing strength. Like, I don't know anyone else who could do this, because everyone that did join him did struggle after they did do 30k. So he just did it. Yeah.
You must be so proud of him, as he's your husband, but also a father doing this for his daughter who's gone, and trying to pulling some good out of something so utterly tragic that other children will benefit from this.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he is. Like, Mia is so proud of him. We're so proud of him. Like, he is the best dad. She was obsessed with him. Like, Mia always said she was going to marry Ronan. And like, we were like, you can't marry Dad, but you can find a really
allowed under Irish law, but
you could get a really good man like Dad. So she always knew that Ronan was just the best dad in the world, and the purest soul as well, like, so kind, and just, he is so strong. Like, I'm probably more of the talker and Ronan's more of the doer, but he honestly, like, he carried Mia all through her illness, and like, she was over 20 kgs, it's quite light, and she was, but he carried Mia all the time, like, on his shoulders or in his arms, like, so he can do it. Like, I knew he could do it, and like, we know how hard it is for other families, and obviously you do want to give back some of the goodness and the kindness. You don't want it to be all sadness. It'll be forever sad, but like, we do want to give back hope and a bit of light in her memory as well, because like, Mia was the rainbow of our family. Like, she was pure magic. And
sounds like anytime you talk to us, it comes across she's quite a little character.
Oh, she was amazing. Like, we just, like, it's very lonely without her, but at the same time we feel her with us all the time, and we just kind of think, what would Mia do? And she'd be kind of like, get up and dance, or go do that walk, you can do it. So
what was the last bit of this long journey for yourselves, but Ronan in particular, as I'm sure he was hobbling towards that end point, but what did he feel? Was it relief or exhilaration of actually achieving this, or not just a personal kind of goal of completing it, but knowing that he completed this massive campaign and initiative, and it was going to result in so much good positivity.
Yeah, I think it was a big mixed bag of mixed emotions, really. Like, I think he was so happy that I did the last bit with him on the last day, and actually his work colleagues came up. They work in Regeneron, who've been amazing, came up, and they just brought so much fun, and like, they were just really encouraging him to get it done. And like, he did get through it. Like, it was bittersweet because we obviously travelled that road a lot, like, through really hard times, through hoping things would be better, like, so, and then we travelled it this time without Mia, and obviously trying to spread some kindness and goodness from it. So it was tough. Like, it was very emotional, especially for me, standing outside Ronald McDonald. I found that emotional. Like, we were waiting to cross the lights, and they were taking forever to turn green. So I was like, God, it's crazy. Like, but like, we went into Ronald McDonald, and all that is still going on for families in there. Like, they're all still living through that. So it's nice that we're giving back a little bit. So
it is, and the two of you and everyone else involved must have been welcomed like, I don't know, returning heroes after being away at war for years or something.
Yeah, no, they were amazing. Like, we had the 3 charities there, so Avian's Pink Tie, Childhood Cancer, and obviously Ronald McDonald had like hosted it for us, and they make cupcakes with rainbows and just put food on, and that's like what Ronald McDonald and all those charities are about, because Avion's Pink Tide do have a house as well. So like it's just about giving you those little comforts, and because life still goes on and bills still have to be paid, but like your whole world has stopped in a way, so they bridge that gap for people so that parents can be parents and look after their kids without having to worry about paying for oil or travel costs and things like that. Just really small things, like, but that are big things.
You've very well explained how they are there for families in their toughest moments, but it's lovely the kind of full circle aspect of it, where you've done your bit, a significant bit, to help them to continue to help others, and I'm sure they very much appreciate that. And you spoke, Ruth, about the mixture of emotions, finishing up. Will there be an element of that tomorrow night as well? There's going to be a big crowd there, as I say, blown away to get the local Hero Award, the best of Clare Awards. Overjoyed, but at the same time, anything connected to me is always going to be that bittersweet element to it.
Oh, it is, yeah. I suppose receiving it, you feel like, oh, she's still so alive that way. So, but then I suppose when everything does quieten down and you're at home, it is hard, yeah. But she would just be delighted. She would love this. So it's very Mia. She is proud. Like, we know she is, yeah.
That's a great way of putting it. It's very Mia. And there's going to be a lot of love, I think, in the room, the Old Ground Hotel tomorrow night. Very, very deserving recipients of the local Hero Award. And because you were here today and Ron wasn't able to make it, he had a good reason, but you can claim ownership over it, okay? Just so you can tell him that tomorrow. He can hold it for a bit on stage, and then you get it. Look, well done, Ruth, and we'll see yourself and Ronan tomorrow night. And congratulations once again on the local Hero Award, and thanks as ever for coming in to have a chat with us. Really appreciate it.
We're so honoured. Thank you.
Ruth Flanagan with us on Thursday's Morning Focus.